Where am I? Hello? Oh, I'm live. I didn't even click go live. Oh well. What's good, everyone? How's everyone doing? Welcome to a stream. I am the Gold Man, and today we're going to talk about the future of the Star Wars franchise. Give me a hot sec. I'm just going to tweet out a link saying, hey, the Gold Man is live, so come watch. I'm going to say going live, exclamation point, send the link, tweet. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're alright. Bruh. How was that last episode? Says, hi, Goldman. What's up, Wish it had an easier name to say. So, right now, God, last night's episode, though. I'm so tired right now. For those of you who tuned in for my stream at 3 in the morning, thank you for tuning in. It was very well. I had like 250 people watching, which was insane. Hey, Goldman, glad to see you again. I was at the Mando reaction. Yeah, thank you. I saw you. Yeah, that was so much fun. That was a crazy episode, and I had a great time. I think I'm going to do more watch parties if I'm able to do them at that kind of time. It's kind of a little difficult, given my current situation. But it's alright. Hello there. Honestly, kind of overrated. I somewhat agree. I love the episode. It was definitely one of my, favorites, but, it wasn't. I don't think it's one of the best episodes. It was nice seeing Ahsoka, but I feel like if I didn't know who Ahsoka was or who Thrawn was, then I wouldn't have loved the episode as much. If that makes sense. I'm so tired as well, but I don't regret anything. Same here. It's funny. So I ended my stream a little bit after 4, and I made a video. I was up till 7, and then I went to bed at 8, woke up at 11, and I haven't slept since. So I'm currently running on 3 hours of sleep. But you know what? Hard work pays off. Actually, no, I did take a nap, an hour nap, so I'm running on 4 hours of sleep, if that matters. Will there be a Tatooine show? It looks like there won't be. Lunga is busy, and Star Wars Only apparently has some internet problems. So, yeah, but maybe not. If I'm not chatting much, it's because I'm working on my custom-painted Lego minifigures. No worries, I appreciate you tuning in. Actually, I need to fix the chat. I think that's better. There we go. Now you can see the most recent comment. Okay, so let's talk about the future. The future. This marker sucks. This is my only expo marker. You can barely see what I'm writing. Darn. I might have to write a little bigger then. This is the only expo marker I have. So if it dies, then I'm just going to toss the whiteboard aside. So what do we know right now? Let's see. The future. I feel like Squidward right now. Future. This feels like an online class. Welcome to online class. I love it. So what do we know right now? Okay, this is not going to work. I might have to go like this. Is this better? This is awful. Are you a Star Wars teacher, LOL? What's up, Max? Thanks for tuning in. No, we're just theorizing everything we know. So, Thrawn. I thought this would go much better than I originally had in mind. All right, maybe I'll go away with the whiteboard. that was a bad that's an L, brother. That's an L. All right. I'll just keep notes to myself. Okay. So who is the jeans guy? We'll never know. So I've been doing a lot of thinking, right, about where the series is going to go and the future of Star Wars as a whole. Ooh, comment star. I think that last episode spawns a Rebel sequel. We'll get into that, right now. So, yeah, I agree with you, comment, and thank you for the super chat. So what's interesting is I think this episode that Thrawn mentioned is going to be somewhat of a backdoor pilot, because no one knows who that is. A lot of people have heard of Ahsoka, but I feel like Thrawn is less well-known. So I'm really curious to see. I don't think we'll see Thrawn in the series, if not for a while. F in the chat for the whiteboard, I agree. Luke is with Thrawn in the EU at this exact time, so probably the same for Ken. I just think everything fits for us to see Luke. Okay, so what actor, Max asks, what actor do you think will play Thrawn? I was hoping for Timothy Olyphant before the first episode this season. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. So let's talk about Thrawn. Look, we got a little Grogu here. It kind of made Baby Yoda a little more, like, his story a little more tragic, but we'll get into that. So, this is an idea I had, and I talked about this in my most recent video. For those of you who don't know, did I put the books away? I did. Oh, well. But last night I brought up the Thrawn trilogy. Oh. Okay. So, the Thrawn trilogy... These are the first ever Star Wars books, if you don't count the old Han Solo novels. We got Heir to the Empire, which is the first one, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command. And if you can't tell, we got Thrawn on the covers of all of them. So what's interesting here is when they brought Thrawn back to the canon, because these are legends, right? It says legends on the top. The story is no longer canon. So when they brought Thrawn back into the canon... people were like, it's interesting because his storyline was taking place during Rebels, which is before the events of the original trilogy, but then in the expanded universe, his story was mostly after the events of the original trilogy. So then when Thrawn disappeared at the end of Rebels, spoiler alert, they are good books, I'll give them that. When Thrawn disappeared, we all had the questions, what's going to happen, we're ever going to see him again, blah, blah, blah. It's weird. I always had the assumption that in some way Ezra and Thrawn would work together in some way. Like maybe Ezra would help Thrawn with the battle with the Chiss or something like that. So that was always a thought I had, but it seems like that's not the case. It seems like that Thrawn, he's alive. So whatever happened to him and Ezra, Thrawn is well, he is somewhere. And that means Ezra is probably alive unless Thrawn killed him, but I don't think so. I don't think they'd kill Ezra like that. So if Thrawn's alive, then I wonder if he might be the real head of the Empire and not Moff Gideon. Thrawn is a Smurf and doesn't sound like a word. Thrawn probably could still be with Ezra. I think Thrawn might have Ezra captive in some way. But Thrawn, now maybe you guys can tell me this. Were the people in this episode... in the Jedi, were they part of the Empire? Like they had those droids that somewhat looked like it, but it wasn't clear. They never said they were part of the Empire. They just had information that Ahsoka wanted. So, yeah, I don't think they're Empire either. So if maybe Thrawn doesn't have anything to do with the Empire, it's possible. Crystal says the Empire could have won the Battle of Endor if Thrawn was in command. Absolutely. Thrawn would have not made the mistakes that Palpatine made. So yeah, I wonder if Thrawn is still in cahoots with the Empire because, if Thrawn is the master of that woman, the magistrate, was that her? I always forget the word. I wonder. And if Thrawn is with the Empire, I wonder if they're planting the seeds to revive the Heir to the Empire trilogy because one of the big plot points in these books is that Thrawn is working with an old Jedi named Joruus C'baoth. I think that's how you say his name. It's a weird name. There's a lot of weird names in these books. So, Thrawn is working with a former Jedi named Joruus C'baoth, but it's actually a clone. And what they're trying to do was clone Luke, and they did clone Luke. And Luke fought a clone version of himself, and it was Luke with two U's, so Luuke. A little weird. But... given what we've seen in The Mandalorian, it looks like that could be a possibility because they are trying to clone someone, right? Given the details about the when we saw in chapter 12, and we saw like the Camino patches, the cloning, and they obviously want Baby Yoda's or Grogu's blood. I'm saying Baby Yoda, screw Grogu. So they want Baby Yoda's blood for. What we can assume is to clone someone and make them force sensitive, or to just give any regular person force powers, right? So what I wonder if maybe they're trying to clone some sort of Jedi, maybe they're trying to clone Luke of some kind, and then maybe Mando will not get involved. Maybe that this is going to be the Rebels sequel series, that it's basically the Heir to the Empire story, except you change a little bit because in the Heir to the Empire books, Leia's pregnant with Jason and Jaina Solo, and during the time of the Mandalorian, Ben Solo has already been born. So yeah, but they could tie in Ahsoka, they could tie in Ezra. There's a lot of cool things I think could happen. What do you guys think? Thrawn could want Baby Yoda to make him an Inquisitor. I don't think Thrawn would want that. See, the thing that's so interesting about Thrawn is that in Rebels, he's kind of he's this big villain, but he has a much softer side in the books. His main goal is to defend his people, the Chiss, and his allegiances will always be to the Chiss over the Empire. The Chiss is Thrawn's species, by the way, the blue people. So I wonder if the Empire falls, would Thrawn really just want to revive the Empire, or will his focus be on saving the Chiss? Elijah says, I'm so glad for the fact that that last episode we got that Dark Trooper tease with Moff Gideon. Otherwise, Thrawn would be completely overshadow him as the most compelling villain this season. I don't know. I don't think we'll see Thrawn in this series. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a backdoor pilot for a animated series. We've heard the rumors that they're going to do I like to say Rebels successor show instead of sequel, because it's like Rebels isn't really a sequel to Clone Wars. It's more of a successor show. So I think they're going to do a third one, and maybe Luke and Leia and Han will be involved. I think that would be nice. I think that would be a good way to win back some fans if they were the head of the animated series. It may be some other character, but Luke would be involved. I think that would be really cool, and then Ezra's involved and blah, blah, blah. I think I'd like that. And then they do this for like 5 seasons or so, and then in 6 years, that's when they do the animated show I want, where they flesh out the characters of the sequels, because, they kind of built through the eras. Like, we got the Clone Wars, then we got the time period, the Rise of the Empire, then we got the New Republic era, and then the post-Rise of Skywalker era, or whatever that's going to be called, post-First Order? I don't know. I think we will see Thrawn later, but in a later season, that's possible. What is the current state of Thrawn's homeworks? Hello, what's up, Dutastic? My hope is that the Rebels sequel show will be about Luke and Ahsoka finding Ezra and Thrawn. Then from there, it goes into the Thrawn trilogy with Ahsoka and Ezra. Then we go into rebuilding the Order. That's possible. But what's interesting, because Ahsoka says there's very few Jedi left, but canonically, the only ones we know are Luke, Ezra, and Ahsoka, if you consider her a Jedi. So maybe Cal Kestis is still alive. That's possible. I wonder. See, it's weird because they hinted that another Jedi is going to show up, right? Because Ahsoka sends Mando to Tython to try and find another Jedi to potentially train Baby Yoda, which is weird because I wonder if Ahsoka wouldn't train Baby Yoda, then why would another Jedi train Baby Yoda? I think at the end of this season, Mando's going to kind of give up on trying to send Baby Yoda to the Jedi and kind of just adopt him into the Mandalorian culture. I think I'd like that a little more. Moff Gideon definitely feels like an extreme Imperial loyalist, while Thrawn just cares for his people and will stick with the most powerful empire. I agree with that, Elijah. Basically, everything fits right. Grandmaster Rey? I would like that. Maybe not Grandmaster right away. She's way too young to be a Grandmaster. Even really Master, but... Yeah. Hot take, live-action Ahsoka doesn't really work that well. It didn't feel like Ahsoka to me. It felt like Rosario Dawson playing dress-up as Ahsoka. Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. I think she did a great job. I don't think it was like the best thing ever. The design worked really, really well. The only thing, I don't want to say bothered me, but the fact that Ahsoka's, I think they're called like Montrals or something, the big tentacles, are significantly longer in Rebels than they are here. So it's a little weird, but again, it's not like a big deal. It's just like the translation from animation to live action. What if Jason, Kanan's son, will show up into the temple? That'd be cool, but he's still really young, because if Kanan and Hera did the bangity boom before Kanan died, that means it's weird because his name is Jason Syndulla, not Jason Jarrus. Anyway, Jason Syndulla was born in 1 BBY or 0 ABY. So if he was born in 1 BBY, that means right now he's 10 years old. He's not going to be wandering off by himself. So he could be maybe with Luke. But yeah. It's weird because after the events of Rebels, we've seen Ahsoka, Hera in other stories. She was in a few of the Alphabet Squadron books, and she was in Squadrons, but we haven't seen her son. So it's weird. I wonder what might happen. It might be because I'm more familiar with Clone Wars Ahsoka, which is my favorite version of Ahsoka. This was a lot more like Rebels Ahsoka, which I think is forgettable. Well, it makes sense that she would be more like Rebels Ahsoka, considering it's been 26 years? 28, 24 years. I don't know. Like around 25 years since the Clone Wars. Am I stupid? 19 plus 4 plus 5, what is that? 28. Okay, so it's been 28 years since the Clone Wars. So Ahsoka is going to be very different than her counterpart in the Clone Wars. And it's funny, I actually watched The Siege of Mandalore today with my mom. She really liked it. But Ahsoka is very different, but I think that's only natural. She's a much more wiser person. On December 10th, there's apparently an investors call where Disney announces the future of Disney Plus, including upcoming Star Wars shows. This is according to Kessel Run Transmissions. Thank you, Elijah. The amount of times I've listened to those quarterly earnings calls and like nothing was announced, almost nothing ever happened. So I'd be shocked. But I think they might just announce something out of the blue. Maybe when this season ends, they'll announce the sequel show. I mean, we got the Bad Batch still coming up, so I'm curious. It's funny, the Bad Batch is always something I forget about. I wonder how that's gonna go. I'm a true fan that does not care if they make her good. She is. And MCU stuff, yeah. Read what I said. After Hera saw what happened to Ezra and Kanan, would she want her son to be a Jedi? Well, I think so. I don't think they died because they were Jedi. Kanan died because he wanted to sacrifice himself. And then Ezra also wanted to sacrifice himself for his people. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being a Jedi. I don't think Hera would see it that way. True. The only thing announced on an investor's call was the Cassian show. Yeah, I mean that was a while ago. It's funny that was announced like 2 years ago. Yeah, and we still have nothing for it, but probably come on next year. I want an animated series of Luke, Han, and Leia between 4 and 5. They made a 75-issue comic book run about the adventures of Han, Luke, and Leia between episodes 4 and 5, so they're not going to make an animated show during that time. And those were like big comics, so they're not just going to toss aside those comics in the canon. So yeah, that's not going to happen. And then right now they're doing the timeline between 5 and 6 in the comics, which I actually want to get those comics. If we get Luke and Mando, I hope it doesn't get spoiled by so-and-so is cast to play Luke Skywalker. I had the theory, what if they wanted to leak... Because it's funny, this season for season 2, there was so many leaks about character appearances. Like we heard about Boba Fett, we heard about Bo-Katan, we heard about Ahsoka. But with season 1, we didn't hear anything. We didn't even know there was a baby Yoda. So I wonder, what if they leaked the appearances of those 3 characters to secretly hide the fact that Luke Skywalker is going to show up this season? Be very cool. She is in her Rebels and Mandos, and Clone Wars Ahsoka was not really her. I like this Ahsoka. Luke's gonna show up, I'm calling it. It makes the most sense in terms of marketing too, because everyone knows Luke. Not everyone has seen Rebels or has played Fallen Order. I wonder who they get to play Luke. You think Sebastian Stan would come in? That's like the fan casting that everyone wants to do, right? But it's definitely possible. At first I thought Dude-tastic meant that they wanted a series with Luke, Han, and Leia are 5 years old, lol. I'm pretty sure Han Solo is like 11 years older, or 13 years older than Leia. Isn't that a little weird? I think it would be poetic if we see Ezra train Jason and Ahsoka train Luke, or at least Ahsoka will promote Luke to Jedi Master. There's so many possibilities between this time period, and then we get to the events of The Last Jedi or the flashback in The Last Jedi. Because there's a comic, and Luke's order is not that big. I don't think Luke will have any other like Jedi Masters with him. There's so many interesting things. Lord Snorlax says, I just watched the Toph episodes in Korra, and I like that more than the Ahsoka return, because even though she's older, she still resembles her personality from Last Airbender. I mean, I still think Ahsoka resembled her personality from, like, Rebels. I mean, she is significantly older, and she had much less screen time. Well, I mean, Toph was much, much older than her Last Airbender version, but I get your point. I think Sebastian Stan is the best choice. Me too. I think whoever they cast will do a good job. Luke is post 9 years from Return of the Jedi. He's a Jedi Master now. That's fair. Who promotes him now? Does he promote himself? People do call him Master Skywalker. Sebastian Stan has Mark Hamill's blessing and works for Disney. Yeah, I think so. What up, Peanuts High Council? Thank you for tuning in. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. There's so many ways. I don't think we're gonna see Thrawn very soon in this show, in The Mandalorian. I do think it was a backdoor pilot for another series, because they kind of did that with the Bad Batch. Obviously, the Bad Batch arc was always a thing, but then they kind of used that to set up their own series, which is interesting. I feel like the Bad Batch series is less talked about than the Cassian Andor show. Crystal says, I love how positive you are and your channel are. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I mean, I just love talking about Star Wars, and I don't want to be a jerk to a lot of people. I'll try my best. I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys like my thermos, by the way? It's very pretty. No, I used to have my Star Wars one, but this one's significantly bigger. So I just asked my mom if I could have it. Talking about spoiling Korra. Korra is a great show. I would recommend it. I would love to start my own Avatar: The Last Airbender, or like the Avatar Universe channel, but there's just not enough content to make videos about it. And I feel like I would be the guy that just makes Korra videos all the time. Hot take, Ahsoka is herself in Rebels and Mando, but not in Clone Wars. That's a very interesting take. The water bottle is neat. Thank you. If they call Luke Master Skywalker, then why did the youngling call Anakin that? You can have numerous Master Skywalkers. Ruby says, my boy, what's good? Kid A, I discovered your channel last night. Subscribe. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. When we may see Luke, maybe we are going to see a little Ben Solo with him. I would love that. Although I don't think Luke started training Ben Solo until 15 ABY, according to the Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary. Is that a popcorn tower? It's a tower of the buckets. So, let me make sure. So we got Rogue One, Last Jedi, Solo, Avengers Endgame, Captain Marvel. I actually don't like the movie. Rise of Skywalker, and then I got a popcorn bag for Force Awakens. Mando is really going to give the sequels the depth they really needed. I hope so. The thing I'm the most critical about with the sequels is definitely the world building. So if Mando could do a little bit more fleshing out there, just for lore reasons, I would like it. Obviously, it's not going to change my opinion of the movies, but lore-wise, it might make a difference. Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do? There'll be two Master Skywalkers. Do I watch Star Wars Theory? Sometimes. I think they will combine aspects from Legends and the sequels. I would like that. That's why I want them to make an animated show, because you could really, really flesh out not only the characters, but the world building of the sequels. Even though I do think it should take place after the Rise of Skywalker. And then, I wish my video on that topic did better. But, yeah, I can't wait for them to make a series one day. They will. Book it. Just out of curiosity, what's your favorite thing that Disney has done with Star Wars? Mine's Rebels. Probably The Last Jedi. It's my favorite story that they've done. Are you going to read the High Republic books? And if you do you think Plo Koon will show up since he's 300-ish in the prequels? I didn't know he was 300 years old. Possibly. I probably will read the High Republic books. I'm not sure if I'll cover them. I might just do like one video if I like the books or not. But if I hate them, I'm not going to say anything. Republic Rebellion, do you think it would allow people to open up to the sequels like how Clone Wars did with the sequel trilogy? I assume you mean the prequels. Yes. It definitely would. People, what's going to happen is Mandalorian. I can't see something like The Mandalorian having that sharp turn that sequels did. Because, almost everyone loved The Force Awakens. And then when The Last Jedi came out, that's when a lot of people dropped off. I don't see Mando doing that because there's not much they could ruin. Like, a lot of people thought Luke Skywalker was ruined in The Last Jedi. I don't. But in Mando, who's there to ruin, right? Are they going to ruin Ahsoka? I mean, she was there for one episode and that didn't happen, so. Unpopular opinion, I do not want Mando to connect with the sequels. Maybe a few hints here and there, but not full connection. I like it being its own thing. I think what you can do, I somewhat agree. I don't want them to have, like, the whole Palpatine thing. I think that'd be a little much, but just a little bit, like, seeds of the First Order I would like. I think that's the extent of the sequels I'd want them to tie into. It's like the origins of the First Order. Nothing to do with Snoke or Palpatine. Maybe Snoke, but that would be it. Maybe. Yeah, even as a fan of the sequels, there's really no world building. Glad we have Mando to sort of fill it in. What's funny is because there's a lot of books, and the reference guides really do a good job fleshing out the sequels for me, and I do like the lore, but obviously that's no excuse that the movies don't do that. Luke Skywalker is better made in The Last Jedi. IMO, me too. I hope we're going to get a Disney Plus series with Kylo Ren before the events of Force Awakens. Adam Driver is not going to come back to do that. There's just no chance. Adam Driver is one of the most A-list actors right now, and he's not going to do a Disney Plus series. So if it's animated, I mean, I don't know. I'd much rather see I don't want to see animated shows that revolve around a singular character we've already met. If you're going to do characters we already know, I wanted to do some sort of ensemble. I don't know, like a Kylo Ren series just wouldn't interest me. It would partially trigger me because if they announced a Kylo Ren series, whether it be with a new actor, with Adam Driver, that means I think they're basically admitting they regret killing him off. Because they shouldn't have, but it is what it is. I moved on. I don't know. I'd much rather see a book, maybe a book series on Kylo Ren, or they flesh out his story in an animated series. We'll have to wait and see. I like the Mandalorian uses different episodes from all eras in the background scenes since they made it feel connected. Does Adam Driver dislike the sequels? I don't think so. I don't think he cares. Going back to your question, Crystal, I like that about Mando. It really does make everything feel connected, and I love it. That's why this book is so cool. The Rise of Kylo Ren is a book. It's a comic book. Just wanted to say I appreciate you doing this live and your channel. None of my friends are hardcore Star Wars fans at all. Well, that's why we're here, because we just love talking about Star Wars, and we can speculate on the future. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Now that Mando has a lightsaber resistance staff, I think it's very likely that he will have a fight with Moff Gideon. Absolutely. 100% dutastic. That you can book that. Yeah, Mando's gonna fight Moff Gideon at some point. And it's funny. I just it makes sense, but I never put the two together that Beskar can block lightsaber bullets. Are you gonna stream Fallen Order? No, the game came out like a year ago. I played the game. I loved it, but I probably won't play it again for a long time. Well, Adam Driver doesn't watch some movies. Yeah, Snorlax is right. I just joined. What do I miss? Thank you, Anakin Skywalker, for tuning in. We're just speculating about the future of Mandalorian. Most of the speculation I did revolved around Thrawn and what I think could happen with a potential Rebels sequel show or successor show, and how I think Thrawn's going to tie into that. And I think maybe there's a possibility they're going to somewhat revive the Thrawn trilogy, but in animation, and obviously change a little bit of the plot. These are good books, though. I recommend them. I don't think they're the best books ever. Like, a lot of people say they're the best Star Wars books. I don't think so, but they're definitely pretty good. Am I the one who likes smelling books? Does that make me a freak? I don't know. Maybe it does. Oh, well. If I was an actor, I wouldn't watch my own movies either. Probably. Yeah, I don't know. I somewhat understand it because I hate watching my own videos. Like, when I edit the videos, I listen to it over and over and over again, and then once it's finished, I'll watch it one more time just to make sure there's no mistakes, and then I put it out there, and I never watch them again. It's funny, people ask me questions about my Mary Sue video, and a few people said they watch it 5 times, and I just don't remember certain parts of it, which is really funny. Isn't that weird? I make videos, and I just don't remember some things I say. I think I rewatched, the other day I was bored, I rewatched one of my older videos from April, and it was like watching a new video, because I just didn't remember making that video. But yeah, I don't know, I think it's neat, but I understand with actors why they don't want to watch their own work. Can someone please explain to me why people were so upset that Kylo was killed off? I think because the potential, if they kept him alive, it was through the roof. And I don't know, it's just when you look at the story of Kylo Ren, he was haunted his whole life. He was never really happy, and then he redeemed himself just to die off. I feel like he deserved somewhat of a happy life. Obviously, he would have to face the consequences of his actions. And then, him and Rey, the Reylos obviously want that. I still think they should have kept him alive, and because I think it's a little bit of a cop-out to do a redemption arc and just have them die. I think they have to work more for the redemption. I would like that. Hot take, I don't like the interview of Daisy Ridley and of John Boyega. Which interviews? I kind of liked Kylo Ren being killed off. I've made peace with it, and there's some aspects of it I like. But I don't think it was the best course to take. I want Disney to retcon Ben's death. That's never going to happen. If they do, I don't know. It'd just be so bad. Reylo fans also get pissed. Reylos were pissed. The use of Ahsoka's theme in this episode was incredible. I agree. It's funny. If you watched my reaction, I was listening to it at first. I was like, is that Ahsoka's theme? And then it played. And it was so cool. I love Ahsoka's theme. For me, I hate them killing off Ben Solo. They just redeemed him just to die. He's one of the only things I loved about the sequels, so I hate that choice that he died. Me too. I don't know. I think it would have been really interesting if... I'm not a full-on Reylo, but I do think the concept of Rey and Ben Solo being together would be one that is very interesting. It didn't happen. I can move on. But I do think a Reylo... I hate saying Reylo, but a story where Rey and Kylo ended up together and maybe had kids. I think that would be a very interesting concept, but we're not going to get that. While me, a Finn Rey shipper, only got a few hugs and I'm satisfied. I hate the relationship between Rey and Finn in The Rise of Skywalker. Rey treats Finn like he's just some random person. I don't know, in Force Awakens, Rey and Finn feel like genuine friends, and in this movie, Rey just doesn't seem like she cares for Finn. Oh, it's weird. It's funny, I like the relationship between Rey and Finn in The Last Jedi more than The Rise of Skywalker. Because, Rey asks Chewie to check on Finn and stuff. Hot take. Do you hate hearing your voice on a video? Most of the time. It depends. I know this could be talking too much ahead, but do you think there could be a sequel to the Rebels sequel show that takes place between 9 and 10? I don't think there'll ever be an episode 10. But yes. Maybe we're not going to get my ideal animated show with Rey, Finn, and Poe because they're going to wait to do this other Rebels show and then fill that out. Rey did not seem emotionally ready for a relationship. That's true. Maybe... they kiss, he lives, and then Rey's like, listen, Ben, I love you, but I'm going to need some time. And then, in a year, that's when they hook up. I ship Poe and Finn, and Rey and Kylo. Don't kill me. I will not kill you. I hate my voice. A lot of people hate their voice. The way you hear yourself is different than the way other people hear you. Yeah. Fun fact. Kylo Ren death mirrors Anakin's death in Return of the Jedi. That's why I don't really like it, because it's too similar. That's why I wanted them to do something different, but... it is what it is. We've seen Gideon tell his minions to... I'm sorry, I've the burps. We've seen Gideon go back, tell his minions to back off his peeps are losing, for example, when Catan took over that ship with weapons. Do you think Gideon and Thrawn are working together? Thrawn is relentless. It's very possible. I don't know if Thrawn's working for the Empire. We assume he is. He probably is, but I don't think it's a guarantee. The fact that there's just an empty chair here in my background is low-key bothering me. Just push it out of the way. Almost there. There we go. Now it's there's no chair. I can forgive all the problems of The Rise of Skywalker, since it gave us our clawed god. I love it. Republic Rebellion says, I don't think there'll ever be an episode 10. Me, you underestimate my power of corporate greed. You're right. I just hope there won't be. Because, there's no more Skywalkers. How are you going to continue the Skywalker saga unless they change it? Right? 2008, remember when Ahsoka showed up and everyone hated her and say she was a Mary Sue? I remember that. Book it, 15 years from now, people are going to be talking about Rey the same way they talk about Ahsoka right now. You guys hear the squeaking? I don't know. I need a rocking chair. I think that would be ideal for me. My biggest complaint about season 2 is that we have to wait a week. I think most shows are better when you binge them, but the week-to-week thing is much better, and it's also more fun to speculate it each episode. It definitely gives YouTubers like me more to talk about, because when a whole season comes out, you talk about it for a week and then it dies off. But here we get to talk about it for 8 weeks, 9 weeks really, because you talk about it a little bit after the last episode too. Yeah, I definitely prefer the week-to-week aspect of it. An animated series where Finn and Poe finally get together? Possible. Okay. Well, I want to talk about now, the future of The Mandalorian, the show itself. Because we talked about Thrawn and how he'll play into everything. So let's talk about... Let me move this a little bit. There we go. So let's talk about the show. Because so we know Mando is going to Tython, and if you watch my video, Tython's a very important planet. It's weird because in Legends, Tython is kind of like the Octu. Like Tython was the planet where the Jedi came from. I thought it would have been really cool if she told Mando and Baby Yoda to go to Octu, and it was just like the same place. But obviously Luke isn't there. I thought that'd be really cool. That would be a great way to tie in the sequels. Just to go to a physical planet. I like these blank topic streams do more, or where I just read your comments and kind of discuss. I like those too. It's easy for me. My theory is the next episode, Moff Gideon tracks Mando to Tython. That's very possible. Maybe a Jedi shows up and Moff Gideon captures that Jedi. It's very possible. I think Luke will answer the call on Tython. That'd be insane, dude. I'd freak out. I need to talk to my roommate because I want to do more of those 4 a.m. streams, but my walls in my apartment are super thin. So if I just start talking at 4 in the morning, like fairly loudly, then I'm just going to wake everyone up. So yeah, maybe I'll like soundproof my room. We'll see. I might have to like put curtains so it really does absorb the sound. Bum 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 ba-dum. I want Grogu to connect with Luke on Tython. Grogu, that's so weird. It's nothing wrong with the name. It's just we've been saying Baby Yoda for about a year now. It's only been a year. It's funny. It feels like Baby Yoda's been a thing forever. But 10 years from now, we'll be like, oh, we only knew Baby Yoda for 1 year, and before we got his name, Grogu. OMG, I just remembered Boba Fett. What happened to that guy? I wanted to tweet something like that. We're just like, yeah, you guys remember when Boba Fett was the thing? Remember when Boba Fett was the thing we were excited the most for in Mando? I thought that was really funny. We might not even see him again. We'll see. I hope Luke returns, but isn't like Last Jedi Luke. He probably wouldn't be. He's not going to be like Last Jedi Luke until after the situation with Ben Solo. John Hand Entertainment says, I'm not sure Mando can survive unless it ties into other familiar characters like Ahsoka, Luke, etc. I disagree. It's good, but take away Grogu, Mando has a quiet life suddenly. True, but I mean, it's part of the identity of the show. I feel like Star Wars doesn't work if you take away Han Solo. Star Wars doesn't work if you take away Darth Vader. I'm talking about the original trilogy, that is. So yeah, it's an important. The relationship is what's important. I don't think Mandalorian would work if you had just Baby Yoda and not Mando. So I think both relationships are important. You guys, Grogu. Grogu. That's a very weird name. Go Grogu, Baby Grogu. That's fine, Grogu. I don't know, just it hasn't hit yet. When you watch something and you've been waiting, you've been speculating about it, and when it first happens, it doesn't hit yet. The name Grogu hasn't hit yet. I wonder if I go on Wikipedia, did they update his name to Grogu? That'd be really weird. Let's check. Grogu. How do you spell Grogu? Grogu. Is that his Wikipedia name? Yeah, it's so weird. It says Grogu. Baby Yoda is so cute. I don't know. Was it just me? I want to ask you guys this. Was it just me? But where's the chat? I feel like no one speculated that Baby Yoda was part of the Jedi Order. Isn't that a weird thought? We always assumed that he was just never there, but I guess we never thought that Baby Yoda would have survived Order 66. But doesn't that make his story a little more sad? That he was part of the Jedi and he was clearly loved in the Jedi Order, but then after the Empire, Baby Yoda somehow got taken somewhere else. And Ahsoka said, after that it's dark and he's been lonely. That's 28 years of Baby Yoda being lonely. That's so sad. I'm disappointed his name didn't start with a Y. Yogu? That should have been his name, Yogu. True. Yeah, see? Remember when thought Commander Rex was weird? I love Rex. I miss Rex. Who cares? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just a thing. I mean, we're Star Wars fans. That's what we like to do, is we like to discuss stupid things that don't really care. Did Obi-Wan and Anakin know Baby Yoda? Possible. But Baby Yoda must have been even more infant. Because, Baby Yoda, he's a baby, but he's a little smarter than a baby. He responds... I don't know. I think he's a little bit more smarter. He when he's told to go sit back in a seat, he'll do that. A 1-year-old baby wouldn't do that. Grogu was taken by Palps? Possible. I don't think so. Grogu must have been hidden by someone. Maybe like a Jedi acolyte of some kind. Should have been Yoga. If it was Yoga, I would have hit my head on a wall. Plot twist, Grogu is Yoda's son? Unsure. Probably not. They should have called him Yogurt. Imagine his name is Yogurt. That would be an awful name. That would be kind of funny. Imagine what a 5-year-old Yoda would look like. It'd probably be like this tall. Probably look like Claude a little bit, but much smaller. You, Star Wars Theory, Star Explain are the best Star Wars channels ever. Thank you so much. I actually have a few friends that are friends with Star Wars Explained. Maybe I'll get him on the show one day. I think he's a clone of the real Grogu, and those are implanted memories from the original Grogu or someone else. I don't think so, because Mando mentions something in chapter 7 when he's talking to Quill. He says something like, I think Baby Yoda might be a strand cast. A strand cast is basically what Snoke is, not a clone, but an artificially created organism. And Quill says no. He thinks Baby Yoda is his own thing. So I don't think the Baby Yoda we have right now is a clone. It's possible. I think it's possible that Palps did it because he was hidden in the Jedi Temple. Maybe. What if Grogu starts talking backwards, then Mando gets confused? It's funny. I don't know if you get confused because no one ever addresses how Yoda talks backwards. Everyone just seems to understand what he's saying. Looking, found someone you have. Where's my Grogu? Here's my Grogu. I love Baby Yoda. Maybe Yoda. Little Baby Yoda. It is sad Grogu was pulled away from other Force users. I think Jocasta took him before she was killed. Possible. I would like that story if we see a baby Yoda. And I think Jocasta Nu definitely had a relationship with Baby Yoda. I don't know why. I have no reasoning to think it. That's my headcanon right now. The last of the Jedi I said you were, but Grogu. That was cool. Wait, so Grogu was still hidden in the temple after Order 66? We don't know that. What did Ahsoka say exactly? Someone hit him? And then he suppressed his powers. You know, Ahsoka said something interesting that we've never really seen before. She said that that Baby Yoda should just let his powers fade away. I wonder if that could happen. Could Force powers just fade if you don't ever use it? Is the Force kind of like a I mean, obviously it's a skill, but like, you know, if you teach yourself to learn French and then you go 80 years without saying a word of French, you'll probably forget it. So maybe it's like that. If you just don't ever train with the Force, you just won't know how to use it anymore. That would be sad. So does that confirm that Grogu is Yoda's son? No. Ahsoka said someone took him from the temple. Yeah, I wonder if it was a Jedi, someone hit him, or maybe some dark side. Maybe like an Inquisitor took him and just couldn't just kill a Baby Yoda. What do you think will happen to Grogu before The Force Awakens? Why he isn't around? He could be off somewhere. I mean, he's still technically a baby by the time of The Force Awakens. Maybe like a teenager. Like a tween, maybe. He'll be, what, 80? I don't know the conversion rate between Yoda species to humans. So, yeah. Jocasta Nu never knew about Grogu? We don't know that. Is Yaddle canon? Yes, Yaddle was in Phantom Menace. If I don't practice Spanish for one summer, I forget, so it's totally believable. Exactly. Yeah, so maybe that's like the Force. I think it's something interesting. I'm trying to figure out the timeline of when he was taken. Probably sometime during Order 66, or maybe a little bit before. I mean, I feel like Order 66, a lot more happens than we just see. Right? I mean, if you read all the books, then there was so much going on. Yes, Snorlax, she was in Episode 1. Yeah, she was in Phantom Menace. Thronded? I don't think Thronded. I don't know, there's so many ways the story can go. It's weird because we still don't really have a clue of where Mando itself is going to go, other than he's probably going to go to Tython. He will run into the Empire again. Yeah, I don't know, it makes it hard to speculate, but also makes it for a really good viewing experience. Because we really have no clue what the shows gonna be about right now. He has to start aging soon. Yoda was 100 when he started training Jedi, so Gro is going to have to go through some sort of super puberty soon. Possible. What are you holding? This is a Apple Pen. This is not like a Jewel or anything like that. Yeah, see, like this is the thing you plug in. Yeah. I mean, it's the Apple Pen. Because I have an iPad. I take my school notes on my iPad. I don't know. I just like holding things. It makes. I don't know. Maybe it's a e-cig. Maybe the Force is a skill you forgot, but you can still reawaken like with Kanan. That's definitely true. Definitely possible. Anyone else want to see flashbacks? I wouldn't mind. Yoda keeps secrets. Yoda definitely does keep secrets. It makes the most sense. Yeah. Maybe talking backwards happens in puberty for Yoda species. Do you think? I assume you mean Tython will be the next episode, or we'll have a filler kind of episode. That's interesting. I don't know. We have 3 episodes left, so there's not that much time they can waste. We'll have to wait and see. It makes it so hard because I have nothing to really base the episodes off of. Next episode better not be filler. I don't think it'll be filler. It's gonna be. But if you notice, all 5 episodes this season have had the same format, whether you like it or not. Mando needs something. Someone can provide him with that information, but in order to get that information or object, Mando needs to do something for them. Episode 1, Mando wants Cobb Vanth's armor. Cobb Vanth says, "I'll give it to you if you help me with this." And that's the episode. Episode 2, Mando needs, really episode 2 and 3. Mando needs to find other Mandalorians. The Frog Lady knows a Mandalorian, but Mando has to take Frog Lady to a planet. Bo-Katan knows a Jedi, but she won't give the information to Mando unless Mando just helps him out. I guess episode 4 is a little different. What's your favorite and least favorite episode of season 2 so far? My favorite is the Marshal. My least favorite is the Passenger. I'm thinking the same way. I think the first episode is my favorite. I don't know. I love that episode so much. I miss Cobb Vanth. I think Cobb Vanth's my favorite side character right now. I don't know why. I hope Din connects more with Bo and finally takes off his helmet. I think by the end of the series, Mando is not going to wear his helmet full time. Is it me? Mando has kind of become a little more funny this season. I don't know why. Ever since the scene where they were doing the wires, where Baby Yoda was doing the wires, and he's just like in his frame, he's like in his big helmet takes up the whole window, and he's like, you gotta take the red wire and put it where the blue wire was, and then take the blue wire and put it where the red wire was. I don't know. I thought that was the funniest moment of the show. The wire scene. What was that in chapter 12? I loved that so much. That was hilarious. Yeah, but that's basically how Western works. Yeah, I'm not complaining. I just find it interesting. We'll probably get more of that for the rest of the season. We know both Mando and the child's name, Din and Grogu. Din and Grogu. What's their shipping name? Jin. No, not shipping, but they're very close. Because obviously Din is like a father. I take back everything I said. Oh God. Do you think Baby Yoda should have gotten a Y name? I don't care. I don't know. I'm not going to complain about the name of a character. Like, I remember I was arguing with one of my friends who hates the sequels. He's like, Jakku is such a stupid name. I'm like, who cares? Who cares about the name of a planet? The Wire was definitely the funniest of the show. I agree. Do you think this confirmed that Jango doesn't have Beskar armor because of how much he was fleeing from Obi-Wan? Possible. Never thought about that. I never thought about that. Never thought about it. Daddy Din. I like that kid. In my opinion, there hasn't been a filler episode throughout the whole show. I think the only real filler episode was episode 5. Chapter 5, because chapter 5 literally is irrelevant other than Mando getting to know that woman. The one that's not a particularly great actress. Besides that, I didn't really like chapter 4 either, but it wasn't really filler. What do you think about the Lakus being so short? A really silly nitpick, but yeah, I'm the same way. Because, it was not jarring, but it was something I noticed the second I saw her. Because I guess my mental image of Rosario Dawson was to have much longer Laku. But yeah. It is a small nitpick, I don't care. Love the Wire scene, is hilarious. I like these streams, just Star Wars fans hanging out and nerding out a bit. Yeah, that's what we do. We just talk about Star Wars. With the Gold Man and Grogu. Poor Claude. I wonder what Claude's doing back in my school. Just chilling. Probably getting drunk, going to the bars. Besides Claude, of course. I miss Claude. But Chapter 5 gave us the best Star Wars character, Toro Calican. Did you hear that they removed Jean's guy? I did hear that. I think that Leku's grow shorter as they age. That would be interesting. I feel like her head tails are short because of the stunts she had to do. It makes the most amount of sense. I feel like that would be really annoying if I was not a Twi'lek, a Togruta, and like I just had these really long tentacles. You know, trying to fight and you like do spins. I feel like I tape them down. So yeah. Do you think Ashley Eckstein should have voiced Ahsoka? No. I don't think one character deserves the right to play that character solely. I mean, we don't know what Ashley Eckstein would be like in live action, and we don't even know if Ashley Eckstein could physically do the martial arts that Rosario Dawson could. But I think a lot of people feel like bad for Ashley Eckstein. I don't think so at all. I don't think that like Ashley Eckstein's upset that she didn't get to play Ahsoka in live action. Star Wars fans, when there's a mistake in Mando, LOL, that's funny. Let's make it a meme. Star Wars fans, when there's a mistake in Last Jedi. Exactly. Like, if the disappearing blade thing happened in Mando, no one would care. You know, people like to complain. People love to have a double standard. Grogu. That's so weird. That's so weird. I think that Rosario was the perfect cast. I think she was a great job. I really liked her. Ahsoka is the third Togruta in live action. Who else besides Shak Ti? What other Togruta have we seen? I'm curious, Crystal, who else? We all noticed Leku. Yeah, it was pretty obvious. But I think overall, she did a good job. I'm excited. I think it's just me, but I always pictured Ahsoka in Rebels being much taller. Maybe it's just the, like the top part, it kind of sticks out more in Rebels, as opposed to the, in this was kind of just backwards. Let's take a moment of silence for the whiteboard from the beginning of the stream. Rest in peace. Oh, there was a Togruta youngling in episode 2. I remember I saw someone mention saying they should, if there's ever a special edition of the prequels, that they should change that Togruta that was in that scene in Attack of the Clones to look like Ahsoka. I'd be fine with it. Wouldn't bother me. Gideon actor said he broke 3 darksabers on set. Who will he duel? Mando. I don't think he's dueling Ahsoka. But it could have killed her with the disappearing blade. Maybe you want to throw hands. It was so dumb. It was so dumb. But people are entitled to complain about whatever they want. Also, all hail Claude. I miss Claude. But it's okay. Us members of the Claude squad will still honor Claude in his absence. Ashley might still do more voiceovers, especially if they do another animated show. Absolutely. I want to see a flashback of Grogu being rescued. We might at some point. I don't think that's as unlikely as other people might think. That kid in episode 2 was going to be Ahsoka, but George decided against it because she was too young. It's possible. Darksaber versus Beskar Spear. I like the Beskar Spear. I like it a lot. They probably tried the long Leku at first, but it didn't work when she was wielding her lightsaber. And it was going everywhere. I agree. The practicality of the short Leku is much better. Like, if I was a Togruta and I had Leku all the way up to my waist, I'd, like, tape it down so it doesn't fly everywhere. But apparently you're not supposed to touch them. Like, I read in the Ahsoka book how if someone else touches the Leku, it's, like, really sensitive. In the Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, those Red Guard's blades do disappear when he plays them. All Lego characters' weapons disappear. I think Rosario Dawson is a good live-action Ahsoka, but I do hope we see a Ahsoka version of her again. And when Ahsoka dies, I want it to be Ashley's version of her. That's fair. The thought of Ahsoka dying like isn't in my head right now. Appa's lost of days, but with Grogu. But Appa can fly. Baby Yoda would just walk around forever. This episode was the most samurai Star Wars episode. Yeah, like especially with the fight between Ahsoka and the what's the name? What was the name of the woman? The title she had? It began with an M. Magistrate? I forgot the name. What's the name of the woman that with the spear? The atmosphere was insane. I love the atmosphere. This episode reminded me of Samurai Jack. It did. That was the saddest episode in television history. Yeah. Appa's Lost Days was very sad. I can't rewatch it. Rosario's perfect casting. I agree. If Ahsoka dies, my 29th spirit will die also. Would Ahsoka die in live action or an animated series? I don't know. All I know is that when Ahsoka does die, it's going to be by the hands of Dave Filoni. Like, Dave Filoni will be writing that story. Morgan is the girl's name. Magistrate, okay. Petition for X-rated Star Wars show called Claude's Right Out. Claude's Right Out. That'd be hilarious. This episode gave me serious ad-lib vibes, reminding me of Ba Sing Se. I could see that. Read the last two things I said. Ugh. I don't like when people say that. Like, I'm trying my best. There's a lot of people here commenting. Male Togruta Laku are enormous. They have, like, the huge things up here, too. I'm glad I'm not a Togruta. I don't want to see her die, me either. I hope animated. I think Ashley would do it. I think it would be animated. Especially if we don't ever see Ahsoka in live action again. Do you think Ahsoka and Boba will come back this season? I have no clue. I don't think Ahsoka will. Boba Fett's a little more likely because we just saw him once and he literally did nothing other than walk. Maybe that's like the I probably shouldn't wipe my face with this considering this is all Lysol. No, not smart. Awesome seeing Michael Biehn in something that was Star Wars. I didn't notice at first, but I was like, oh yeah, that's him. The future, I'm so excited. It makes it's really hard to speculate. I don't think we'll see Thrawn this season at all. I really don't. I have a feeling that when that Mando battles Moff Gideon, Ahsoka will show up and fight along with him and possibly die. I don't know. Ahsoka dying? I just can't picture that. I feel like if you were going to kill off Ahsoka, it would have been in Rebels. Yeah. Can I twist off his head? That make me a freak. Oh, he's got a tattoo on the back of his head that says Lucasfilm Limited. Boba did two things, walk and look cool. Yeah, I think that might also just be a backdoor pilot for his own show. I love how after every episode, people are like, let's give this character his own show. Let's give Boba his own show. Let's give Cobb Vanth his own show. Let's give Bo-Katan his own show. Let's give Ahsoka her own show. Let's say Bo-Katan his own show. Bo-Katan her own show. I rationalized the Long Laku as a stylistic choice of Rebels. Yeah, I agree. I want to see Claude and Mando. Why isn't Claude showing up? Where is Claude, Grogu? Grogu doesn't know where Claude is. Grogu. He can snore sometimes. I love this. Imagine someone joining the stream and the Goldman says, I can twist his neck. Can I twist his neck? That would be funny. No, I swear, I couldn't do that. Would it be really dark of me? Would I get canceled if I took Baby Yoda and just like snapped his head off and like tossed it? Even though it's a toy? I feel like that'd be a little creepy, right? That would be wrong. I would be concerned. Like you see these, I saw this meme once. This video was just like Baby Yoda and like someone held up a gun and shot it. It was animated, but like someone making that's a little weird. Baby Yoda. What if Grogu? What if Grogu and Claude are related? Wow. Talk about bold. Well, Boba did more stuff in the Clone Wars. That's true. Boba Fett was a little more relevant in the Clone Wars. But still, the concept of Boba Fett getting his own show is so weird to me. It's so weird. We never look at you the same. Yeah, the Claude Squad would no longer be a welcoming place. When Luke died, 5 of my spirits died as well. I'm so sorry I'm being weird. No, we're all weird here. How long does Claude live? There's one paragraph of lore on him, and that's it. My favorite thing about Claude is that in the visual dictionary it says he has like flopping flippers. What do you think of Baby Yoda's name reveal? I like it. I like that he has a name. Grogu's a weird name, but who cares? I think we will see Rosario's version of Ahsoka in the Kenobi show. I wouldn't mind that at all. Because we don't know if Ahsoka... We don't know if Ahsoka knows if Obi-Wan is alive during the events of Rebels. It's possible. I wouldn't mind it. I think they could work around it. I hope that... I would like that they brought back Ahsoka for whatever reason. It was always an interesting relationship the two of them had. What a great time for Star Wars universe. We are so lucky. Yeah. Do you think Din will eventually die in The Mandalorian? Oh, eventually... I don't know why I read die. Do you think Din will eventually rule Mandalore? Very possible. Maybe that's where the series is going. I don't know. I really wonder how many how many seasons the show is gonna go. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, I think I'm gonna end it soon. Your username rhymes with the gold fan. The prophecy is true. I think I'm gonna end it like a minute. I'll be honest, I'm a little tired. I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep after last night. I kind of just want to go to bed. I don't want to just do a stream if I'm not really into it right now. I mean, I went on for an hour. I think we had a good talk. I'll answer a few more questions. I watched the new Mando episodes with my dad when they released, and it's funny because he really hates the name Grogu. It's a weird thing to just really hate that name. I'm calling it Ahsoka is going to be in Bad Batch, Kenobi, Cassian Andor, Rebel sequel, and she'll have her own show. Heck, Lucasfilm will change their name to Ahsoka Productions. I don't think so, but I wouldn't mind it. I like seeing Ahsoka. They just put in everything, but she doesn't get her own show. But it's weird because Clone Wars is basically her own show, right? I don't know. What's the next thing after the Kenobi show? We got Cassian. There's that show with Leslie Headland that we don't know what it's going to be about, so yeah. All right. I'm going to bounce, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was a nice talk. I might do one tomorrow. I might not. I might take a day off. And then Sunday, I'm going to reveal my next poll I'm going to do. You know, how you guys vote. It's a fun thing. So, yeah. I am going to bounce. Yeah, I need to go to sleep. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to unite the Cloud Squad. I'll see you guys next time. Good night.